Means a lot.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. I'm Harrison Arons running the ones and twos. We got the host, Demorne Pearsonell, in studio as always. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Tennessee Titans. They're playing right now as well. It's 3-7, Steelers leading. We'll keep you updated on that game as well. But, you know, I kind of want to start off this opening segment just talking about NFL because it's been a wacky NFL season.
Come on with it.
Let's start with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, what about them?
When you're looking at the Buffalo Bills, what is their ceiling at this point in the season? Obviously, you still got bowl aspirations, but they're sitting in the AFC East at 5-3. They're only one game behind the Miami Dolphins, but it just hasn't been that year for Josh Allen. Does it feel like the clock is ticking a little bit on the Bills just because of the way the salary cap's kind of lined up for them and things are getting a little more expensive here?
I don't think so. You said they're sitting at number 2, so they'll be probably playing for a wild card position.
Yeah. Unless the Dolphins can still drop games.
October just ended. So I would say within the next 2 to 3 weeks, then kind of assess. But like once October is done, then you can really start to kind of chime in on the playoff push and everything like that. They're still in a good position. You don't want to hit your stride too early.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only other team in their division that I would say that they have to worry about is the Bills. Everybody else they should win, and I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like.
Yeah, let's.
They just traded for the guy out of Green Bay, Razul, I think his name is.
Oh yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about.
They traded for him because of Trey White, Tre'Davious White went out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's a good pickup. And he was another undrafted guy who got a contract. I want to say either last year or the year before last year. So he's proven he'll be a plug-in guy. Give him 2 weeks to kind of understand the situation. But I mean they pretty much play man here and there. It's just learning the terminology. So I mean they're solid on defense. Offense just has to come and play, which their offense has been moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
The AFC. I think is a way tougher division than the NFC.
Hands down, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, so I like the Bills, but their kryptonite, their Achilles heel has always been Kansas City. So if they get over the Kansas City hump, then we'll see. But you still got to deal with Burrow, and you still got to deal with Lamar. So I mean, it's not an easy road.
No, and it's like talking about not being an easy road. They actually have somewhat of a gauntlet here left.
Ooh.
So this weekend they got the Bengals.
Okay,
there's your chance right there against Joe Burrow. Then you got a game against the Broncos, who you probably don't panic about, but they did just beat the Chiefs. They're the only team to keep the Chiefs from scoring a touchdown in the game so far this season.
At the end of the
I'm not betting on them.
Mahomes is 6. So, I mean, they beat him. I understand it and everything like that. Dude, congratulations to them. I'm not going to, diminish any given Sunday. So,
yeah, it is. The Broncos Chiefs games always, I know the streak's crazy where the Chiefs always seem to win it, but it seems to be the better game.
Those conference games, either, one game will be a blow up and the other game, it'll be a toss up.
Yeah.
So, in favor this year, playing in that conference on multiple teams and everything like that, you understand that conference. Any division is kind of like that, except for I would think like maybe 2. The 49ers are just, elite in their division, and I would say the Eagles are probably just elite in their division.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, it's a toss up. You'll get 2 games at least, maybe on one, maybe 2 teams in there, but there are other 2 teams you could possibly split. So, okay, so
the Broncos,
that's a win for them. Okay,
yep.
Is it in Denver or is it in?
No, they got to come to Buffalo too.
Oh,
so that should be a win for the Bills.
Niagara is snowing. So,
and then you got Jets, another winnable game for the Bills, but then it gets a little ugly here again. Then you're on the road playing the Eagles. Then you're on the road again the next week playing the Chiefs. Then you're back at home, but you have the Cowboys coming into town. Then you're on the road.
The Cowboys play indoors. I'm not too worried about that. You got to come up north. That's a bit rough.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's physical football there, and I'm not. That's probably a primetime game. Dak against primetime quarterbacks, elite games, and everything. He doesn't show up, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, and then before we get to my next point, we'll just finish off the schedule. Then the Patriots should be a winnable one, but then they finish on the road. This is just more of it not being a disadvantage for the Dolphins because they get to play at home in that nice weather. If they have to go to Buffalo, that's a tough game for the Dolphins. But Bills are on the road to finish that one out.
Depending on how healthy the Dolphins are,
Waddle's had in and out back spasms.
It's not even that, but I mean, if they win the division and they've locked up the number 1 seed and already in and everything like that, do you even risk playing, your guys and everything like that?
Yeah.
So you'll know 3 games out from the season being over.
Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that Bills Dolphins finish up the regular season might be the deciding factor on who's going to win the AFC East.
You can say that.
Yeah. We'll see, right? Still, we just, November 2nd here today. A lot of ball left.
For sure.
But I do want to continue because you mentioned a good point. How many elite teams are in there? Would we actually consider them elite to be above the upper echelons?
I would say you can argue 8 to 10 teams that are elite.
Okay, so you're thinking it's pretty wide range on who could possibly win the Super Bowl.
If Baltimore stays healthy, I think they have a good shot. They have a good shot. Their defense is playing tremendous football.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense has been good. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think the AFC will win the Super Bowl. Now which AFC? If the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, they're not winning. I'm stating that off the rip. I don't care. Raider Nation, got to throw that in there. Outside of that, I think Baltimore has a good chance. You can never, turn your back on Burrow and them. They've been outside of Kansas City. They've been the furthest. They've been to the Super Bowl. They understand that, and with familiarity with that, that's a lot of those dudes are still there, so they understand how things work. Versus a team who hasn't been there. So you can throw them in there right after that. You can go KC, you can go Buffalo.
Do you value that playoff experience a lot?
Yes.
In the NFL, and especially,
yes, because the regular season is all fine and dandy, but it's win or go home. So you got to put your best up front, with getting stuff, for some players and some teams and everything like that. That next following year after the Super Bowl, you got to trade guys away. Guys are due, contracts and everything like that. So that is the only time where guys are truly fighting and putting forth, clawing tooth and nail. So if your offense is not hitting, if you're not playing complete sound football, you might be in trouble.
We've seen that some of those early playoff games.
So I mean, I go back to when I think Lamar won the MVP and they were the number 1 or number 2 seed and they played Tennessee. Tennessee was fire.
Yeah,
they were on fire.
That's
that year.
The game I was talking about.
They went in to Baltimore. I'm not sure if Baltimore lost a game at home that year.
Yeah, I don't think it was a dominant. It was the MVP season. I don't think they lost the game at home.
It literally,
Yeah.
and the Titans went in there and pulled it out, and they went to, I want to say, the AFC Conference Championship game and ended up losing probably to the Chiefs, if I had to guess. No, Brady was gone. Yeah,
it had to have been the Chiefs. I'm pretty positive it was the Chiefs.
Yeah. So, like I said, any given Sunday. So, the problem and the insight with the NFL now is, how is the whole team clicking? Offense, defense, special teams. Capitalizing on third down. On both sides, which teams is the aggressor, or who's winning third downs on offense, who's winning third downs on defense, who's putting points up to control the ball, time management, and who's pulling out those wins, because that just, and you can go back to when Burrow and them went, like they weren't winning all year.
No, it was a rough start for him.
And like that last month, right after October, literally, like, from probably about this week on, they just hit stride, and they were just playing. They were just fully engaged on all levels, and they wouldn't be denied. So you got to watch out, for those teams who are, hitting those strides and everything like that. And they went all the way to the Super Bowl, and to be honest, outside of a BS call, they should have won that for real, if you being honest about it. That call changed everything, and that's not a call you make necessarily in that situation.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a few times. Saints unfortunately get the bad end on that one.
Like 3 years in a row,
a bad call
like that. I think the Saints probably could at least won another Super Bowl in that 3-year run.
The most egregious was that pass interference call.
That hurt.
Just horrible.
That hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, those experiences, the teams that, have went in those far playoff runs, AFC championships, you've been there before. You understand how the flow of the game is going to go, energy run high. People will come down from, just, the adrenaline rush and everything like that. Now you're into playing football, smart football. And those teams that have been there and understand the situation, then you throw in, the weather conditions and everything like that. You might be playing up north where it's cold. You could be playing, down south indoors to where, now it doesn't matter what the weather is. You can air it out. You can do whatever. But it's different if, you playing in Baltimore, you playing in, Buffalo, where the weather conditions are, that will determine, or you playing in Kansas City where, the weather conditions can determine, the outcome, or you can't really, go,
you got to be ready for the wind.
You can't really go down. You can't throw the ball 50 yards down the field and expect, that situation to happen. Is going to be a, one of those tough nail football games and everything like that. So planning the playoffs definitely helps those teams that have been there before and understand the proper procedures and of things, and how the game can go and sway, and the emotional effect of it versus, a team that's being there for the first time. You can look at last year's Super Bowl. You can point it at a lot of different things. You can say the field and everything like that. But just one team capitalized on being on that stage a little bit more than the other team. And they kind of just self-inflicted wounds. It wasn't that the Chiefs were actually better than them that day. They just capitalized on the mistakes that they made. If that fumble return for a touchdown doesn't happen, we don't know what the outcome could be. The Chiefs might run that extra touchdown in at the end instead of icing the game. You know what I'm saying? That they might not even be in that situation. So it definitely is a benefit to those teams that have been on those runs, or you have guys that have gone deep into the playoffs and understand, what the game is, the magnitude, the energy and everything like that, and just playing, fully through the game instead of just, being excited to be there and kind of not. It's a different experience because it's either win or go home. So some of those coaches, haven't been there for years. It's a new team, young quarterback and everything like that, and whatnot and everything like that. So, I mean, it's definitely, insightful to have, those experiences, those deep playoff runs and everything like that to help better your team for sure.
Yeah, and I would probably agree with that because that's why that Bengals run was so special. It's like, who the hell are these guys just rolling through,
I mean,
taking down the Chiefs after the Chiefs went through probably one of the most electric playoff games against the Bills.
They were one series away from going back that next year, and Mahomes and them just didn't let just didn't let them get the ball back to go over. Because I mean, that's one thing about it. In clutch time, the Bengals versus the Chiefs, that is a good game.
You got some weapons both sides.
Literally. So that game comes down to honestly who has the ball last. And it's been like that the past 3 years probably.
Yeah, and teams like the Titans kind of master that. You talk about when they beat the Baltimore Ravens. That was the class act on. You guys got better players, skill players on offense. We're just not going to give you the ball.
That was just straight up,
bully ball.
Literally,
just we're going to eat clock, and yeah, you might have better players, but if we can just get one stop,
that's it.
We'll run this long 70-yard drive,
and that hurt.
Oh, it's brutal. It's kind of you almost compare it a little bit to Nebraska, the way they're playing. It's like our offense probably isn't scaring people, not because they're not good, but because they're young. You got a bunch of guys hurt. You got a running back room that's kind of
give them about 2 years.
Yeah, give them time. I'm not saying
give them about 2 years to where they can get who they want developed. At the quarterback position. Get healthy guys. You got a good group of guys that'll come back over the next year and even after that.
Yeah, big part's just health, like you said.
So you can say they're right there. They're heading in a good direction, and it's funny because I was having this conversation with a few people. Former players and just fans the other night of just overall of the season and what happens necessarily these last 4 games of being successful and not being successful, whatever goes and everything like that. And I can say from what they've showed with what has happened and everything like that, they're definitely moving into the right direction.
Yeah, you're 5-3 for the first time in way too long for being a
that alone, but the games that you would lose literally the last 2 or 3 drives, you're winning, you're capitalizing, you're finishing. You're not, letting things spiral out of control with not being there. I remember, after I think it was like Frost, like second, maybe third year, they would always lose, those games somewhat in the same type of fashion. And you've seen that this year finally, they're not, they're winning those games and everything like that. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. Like I said, I think they have a chance to win, 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah, what's the one where you're not feeling super confident?
You can say Iowa is a toss-up just because it's Iowa and it's the last game.
Yeah, and you can't disregard their defense. That's incredible.
Also, you're playing Wisconsin before Iowa.
Yeah, it's 2 beat-up games.
That hurts.
At least we get Iowa at home this year.
That helps, but then again, it's how healthy are you? Because Wisconsin's going to be, a slugfest. You're getting out of that, and that's a game that typically hurts. Like you feel that game 2 weeks later, and it's not just because that they're so much better. Like no, that is a physical game.
Just the culture,
just period.
Of those 2 programs
of what we come from, and how we are, and how we want to establish ourselves and everything like that. Going up against Wisconsin and what they are and everything. That's just a physical game. That's a car crash.
It looks like it sometimes. When you watch it on TV, it looks like a head-on head.
So you got that, and then you got Iowa right after, to where that's another car crash, like back to back. So that hurts. So hopefully, depending, who's healthier, who's playing better, the weather can go into that and everything like that. Typically, it's about 3 to 4 games between Iowa and Wisconsin, at least 2. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right. It's a quick turnaround too, because it's always that Black Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's weird. You've been accustomed, you're getting into a rhythm and everything like that, and then that last week you lose the day. That's a day of less recovery. That's a day of less film and everything. Like you got to speed everything up to to kind of catch up. So that's why I say the last 3 out of 4. Could they win 4? Possibly. I hope they do, but I think realistically, the last 3 out of 4, you got Maryland coming here. You got Maryland coming to play in the cold.
Yeah, and they're up
And
and down. You can't write them off. That's the thing.
you're coming to play here in November. That's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to throw the ball over the yard. You can say whatever you want to say and everything like that of what you've been doing and everything like that. It's fine and dandy, but you got to come to the Midwest and throw it. That's not going to be easy in November. So now you're making a team one-dimensional. Our defense has been phenomenal against, run defense. I'll take that. I'll take that matchup. And, whatever it goes, I'm happy with the outcome as long as, we don't play terrible. Cool. Michigan State comes in here and everything like that. They got a whole, distraction, what they got going on, as a head coach, people taking over. They've had change at the quarterback position and everything like that. So that could be a trap game, but then again, again, we're playing them away.
Yeah, we're going to the woodshed at Michigan State.
That's fine and dandy. I'll take our chances with that.
It's their senior day too, so you can get extra opportunity to really ruin the day for them.
That we've been playing, complimentary football. So I'll take that. I'm not worried about our defense. Our offense just has to show up enough.
Yeah,
I'll take that completely. Their offense isn't anything crazy. So cool, fine and dandy. I'll take that. Wisconsin, Iowa.
They're going to be tough. They're physical games. You see it year in, year out. And that's why I feel like it doesn't matter what the ranking is, that game, for whatever reason, it's been just locked up.
It's a 4-way tie right now between.
Yeah, it's Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska. Who's a 4? Is it a 3 or 4-way tie?
Last time I checked, it was 4. But
it might be 4.
It might be 3. It might be 3 this week.
I might be missing a team in there. We'll double check out, but we do got to go ahead.
It might be Illinois.
Yeah, but they took a pretty bad because they did come back and they smacked Maryland after they took a loss to us. It could be Illinois.
I want to say it might be Illinois.
And we got the 1 over Illinois. We have a chance to get the 1 over Wisconsin. We have a chance to get the 1 over Iowa. It's going to get gritty down the stretch.
Those last 2 games are going to be beneficial.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun to watch. It's definitely an exciting time to be a Husker, not only with volleyball playing out of their minds. I think they're still undefeated, which is incredible at this point in the season. But soccer, too, I know they
won the Big Ten. They shared the division.
Yeah, they won the Big Ten.
They still won it. So,
yeah, they won their quarterfinals, hosted that one, and now they're, I think, playing Ohio State on a neutral site. Chilly soccer game, being up in Ohio State. A little surprised by that one. But nonetheless, they're playing really well, too. Just a lot of programs for Nebraska. The good time to be a Husker, to say the least. I've been here for a while. Hasn't felt this good in a minute.
It's going in the right direction.
It's going in the right direction. We'll throw it to break here. This is the Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pearson. I'm Harrison running the 1s and 2s. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. we have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. This is the Don't Punt Hour with host Mornay Pearsonell. If you guys want to join the show, feel free to do so. 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. We had a few people comment in saying it was Minnesota for that.
Minnesota, Illinois, same thing. Oh, well.
Yep, tied up, though. Nonetheless, shout out to the text line. Feel free to always chime in. 402-464-5685. We're talking about some NFL on the last segment, as well as some Husker football versus Michigan State. But I want to dive into a little more NFL talk here, and then we'll go ahead and switch it over. And I'll give you guys a quick score update here on the Steelers game, if it'll pull up for me. Oh, that makes sense. I'm on the Buffalo Bills schedule. Okay, so the Titans did score 10-7 now. Steelers have the ball about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. We'll see what happens there. It's 3rd and goal at Tennessee 6, so they might go up here 14-10 if they can punch this one in. Man, the Titans every single year, they're such a hard team for me to grade, period. because I just can't figure out. And then you throw in Will Levis throwing dimes, and DeAndre Hopkins gets to be DeAndre Hopkins again. It's just a perplexing team. What was it like when you had to face the Titans? Because they have a very, you know what you're going to get style of ball.
I had the opportunity to face them. I think it was the last game in the Coliseum.
Okay.
Before the Raiders moved to Vegas. We should have won.
There's a lot of teams that played the Titans.
It was actually, I think, the game before, because I think the last game was the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
There was a game before that or whatever. They're a physical football team. When we were talking about yesterday about teams, creating that Patriot way, like 2.0 and everything like that, I would say the Titans are probably as close as ever to anybody to like replicate, like, that style. The offense is nothing crazy. They play a conservative, safe offense.
Mm-hmm.
They got some dogs on the D line, and I mean that's the game. That's the changer right there. Simmons is just he's an absolute problem. He that's something different.
Yeah.
You can put him up there with alongside of the names is like, Aaron Donald. Like he's special.
Ooh. I would have to think about that one, but he's definitely up there. He belongs in the conversation.
Yeah, okay, go watch film. I'm telling you. I'm not saying he is the same as Aaron Donald. I'm not saying that, but
it's fair to have him in the conversation.
He's that caliber. After Aaron Donald, who would you go? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they're, a physical sound football team. You got smash mouth football. They run it, especially when they had AJ Brown.
Yeah.
They smashed mouth football, and they kind of like lost a little bit of it just because of that 1-2 punch. They're having a little bit of an identity crisis, I think, on the offensive side of just of what Ryan Tannehill is.
Yeah, they're really struggling to figure out.
And what he's comfortable with, and what he's able to do. I think it was way better when you had AJ there, and it didn't matter what you could do, he would make it right.
Mm-hmm.
So once he was kind of gone, I'm not saying that the rookie out of Arkansas, what is his name, Burke or something like that, Trey
Burke.
Yeah, some whatever his name is, him. He quite hasn't. He had the shades of AJ, but he quite hasn't, hit it off. And then they've been talking about Derek for the past couple years and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you put the guy that they got back there now, Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis, who had a great start, but we'll see what happens. That happens a lot of times.
They were playing with the Texans.
It was Texans.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to, rain on his parade or anything like that. Good showing for a first game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A rookie quarterback going through and dealing and everything like that. That team, actually, had confidence and helped him out a lot. Great for him. Good situation and everything like that. Now, how consistent can you be later on in the season?
Especially when teams kind of get the scouting report on you. You saw that a little bit with the throws you're comfortable with.
You say that, but I mean, it's a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle a lot more. You haven't played half the season. So teams don't really have, a feel for you. So teams are going to kind of, it'll take a couple games to kind of, okay, well, he struggles with this. Okay, well, we're going to show this and do that. We're going to, for teams to kind of, they can have a plan, but, everybody's trying to have a plan to see what works.
Mm-hmm.
So until, somebody finds something, oh, he struggles with this, he struggles with that and everything like that, we'll see. And, the Steelers get Casey Hayward back tonight, which he's up there for, interior D lineman. And then, Mika comes back on the back end defense. You got TJ Watt on the end, and who you got to deal with that. I think he's going to have his hands full tonight. But like I said, I definitely think, Tennessee is probably the closest thing to replicating, what, Belichick kind of likes to do or what does. I mean, you got Vrabel down there, who's a player who turned into a coach and everything like that, who understands stuff and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
just beat you through pure game management.
Yeah, I mean, he's been dominating, I would say, that division for probably like the past 4, maybe 5 years. But he's gonna have his hands full with Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
When Jacksonville got Dougie Fresh, man, I Jacksonville
leading their division right now, 6-2.
They got a lot of weapons. That's a team that went to the playoffs who they won games that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So people are confident. You got a confident quarterback, and then you got a Super Bowl winning coach down there.
And Travis Etienne he's incredible. He doesn't get talked about enough for how good of a running back he is.
He shows. I seen a couple things. I seen a comparison of Alvin Kamara to Christian McCaffrey and how similar their careers was. I want to say maybe about 2 weeks ago. You can arguably put Etienne in that category of a difference of just not, a running back that runs in between tackles. He's a mismatch nightmare. If you put him out on the outside, if you put him in a slot, if you have him coming out of the backfield, he has the same resemblance of, of a McCaffrey with how they put him in different type of matchups, situations, and with Kamara, how they put him in different matchups, situations, or, just giving him the ball in the space and having him go dice up, a linebacker or, a safety here and there. So that
he's a lot like Christian McCaffrey in the fact, like, if you put him on a route, like, he can high point it. So, like, if he's in a, jump ball situation, like, he's gifted enough to go ahead and challenge, those DBs out there. Something like Christian McCaffrey does. You see it all the time as the one game. And I think he had a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. Exactly what you're talking about. Just a player that we get him in space, mismatch problem, period.
And I think that's where, the game will evolve to where everybody's trying to find those type of running backs to where it's
they get paid a little more.
Yeah. And that's been the big thing this year with, running backs being upset with not being able to get paid as much as what they think they were. Just because the game is evolving, they're moving away of just, a downhill running off tackle in between, guards and everything like that. They're moving away, from that game, and, you got to kind of bring more to it. But I don't think it's fair, just because I think the value of running backs is still there. You still need them, to control a lot of the game.
100%. Even your quarterback's getting killed if you don't have a good running back.
The run game sets up the passing game. The passing game sets up the run game. So there's no high-powered offense without, an efficient and effective, running back.
Yeah, whether it's a committee of running backs or your guy, because the Kansas City Chiefs just kind of does that. They'll do committee. They'll have, McKinnon going out there more for route. They'll kind of figure it out, different styles for different backs, and every offense is going to click a little bit different. Obviously, if you got Derrick Henry, you can just play bully ball with him.
Exactly. So, but I mean, even before Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, when he was there, Kareem Hunt was on the same level as those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, being in the right position, the right offense, being utilized to what you can and having mismatches. And he was just taking advantage of those mismatches and everything like that. So everybody was trying to find that, and it's not easy to find that. You got to have the right, offense to run, the right quarterback to, assess what's going on and what the defense is trying to do and get it to the right guy. So it's a bunch of things, but that's not easy to replicate.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, you look at if the Ravens got Dobbins back, I like Gus Edwards. He's a good player, but I just think that offense to go to another level. It's just like that running back definitely makes a big difference.
It definitely does. But JK has been in the league for maybe 5 years, and 3 out of the 4 he's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So he was an animal coming out of,
potential kind of guy because he hasn't been healthy.
You feel sorry for that, but. And that's just not me talking down on him. I understand, what the league is looking at differently of an investment.
Mm-hmm. Especially at the running back position. That's where the money kind of sucks at that position.
So they've taken a chance on him the past 3 years, but sticking with him and not drafting, a guy and everything like that. And you feel bad for, that situation. But I mean, I would be surprised if Baltimore doesn't take, a higher caliber or, within the first 3 rounds, a guy that kind of, simulates, that type of style or the style that they're trying to move to and everything like that. But if he was in that offense, I think that offense looks different in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we're talking here, go ahead and finish your point.
they look different in a good way is just because now, okay, you got Odell. Yeah, I mean Odell, you could say he's hurt and everything like that, but you got 4 first round wide receivers in that offense. Bateman's a first rounder, Nelson Aguilar's a first rounder, Zay Jones a first rounder. I mean not Zay Jones, Zay Flowers is a first rounder, and then you got Odell's a first rounder.
Mm-hmm. And Odell finally kind of got in this. I know they're pass interference calls, but still he's being a threat enough out there to where they caused the penalty to try to slow him down.
You want Odell to be as comfortable as he kind of was, or hitting his stride how he was with the Rams. That's when you want him, to kind of turn on that thing and everything like that. And then you just add on a back that can catch out of the backfield, or that was doing what Ray Rice was doing, running in between tackles, catching swing passes and taking them for 40 and 50 or to the house and everything like that. That's when it's like, okay, well, whatever you're taking away is still not going to be enough.
Yeah, and as I was talking before, it caught my eye because I'm seeing, just going by the play-by-play here, a quick update, Titans-Steelers. Will Levis just about drove down the entire field. He's 12 for 16, 153 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he got it all the way. It's 4th and 9 at Pittsburgh's 18, so they'll actually go up here 13-10 before the half if he can knock this one through. So Will Levis looks like he's having a pretty good day again. And like you said, we'll see what happens. I feel like with those quarterbacks, maybe it just takes time. It's the consistency that makes it great.
Your offense is playing better than our offense. Pittsburgh offense all year has been terrible.
They've been struggling. Kenny Pickett, I'm not sure if it's him or if it's just kind of the collective, that offense of what he has to work with.
It could be a number of things.
Yeah. And it kind of feels like that right now.
It can be play calling.
Mm-hmm.
It can be necessarily getting, because he's shown to play at that level and do things and everything like that. So I'm not saying it's all his fault. It's a collective of of getting something done, getting the right matchups, or play, calling the right things against people and everything like that. So
yeah,
as long as your offense is playing more comfortable than what the Steelers is, I think the Titans win.
Yeah, it's definitely not the quarterback's fault all the time. The Bears are the perfect example. I know I talk about it all the time, but it's pretty evident. Hey, get a new quarterback in there, it doesn't fix everything.
No,
there's a lot of problems that top to bottom, where it all lays. That's kind of a deeper dive, but we got to go ahead and throw it to our final break here on the Don't Punt Hour. We got host of morning, Pearsonell, as always. Harrison running the 1s and 2s, and we got the Titans did take the lead 13-10 over the Steelers at halftime. We'll give you more updates on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Coach Osborne's here. Do you think the option can work in this era of football right here?
If you can do something and do it well that other people don't see all the time, it's an advantage. So that's why I think particularly today, I would think being a good option team would give you an edge. And then if you could run a few passes, come off of that. And that's what happened last week with Malachi Coleman. They'd run a few options, and pretty soon their safeties were committing. And then all of a sudden, Malachi's got a lot of room to run back.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
that's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us...
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
In my opinion, Nebraska is still in the driver's seat. Wow. To win this thing. They're in the driver's seat.
That would be incredible.
If Wisconsin hadn't lost Braylon in a high ankle sprain, you don't play again that year. I mean, losing him is monumental.
It'll be interesting to see a team that's missed so many bowl games in a row, to how they could handle potentially having the mentality of being in the driver's seat.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. This is the Don't Punt Hour with the host, as always, DeMornay Pearsonell, joining me in studio, wrapping up Ticket Weeknights for us before we get to our replays for the rest of the night. But nonetheless, we got a little bit of time here left. I go ahead and want to dive into it. Quick score update. It is halftime, 13-10. Titans are leading it at the half, but Nebraska going to Michigan State on the road, playing at the Woodshed. I think the weather's going to be pretty nasty too, but what are your just initial thoughts going into this game on kind of keys to victory here for Nebraska, whether it's mentality, whether X's and O's? What are you thinking?
You said the weather is going to be kind of ugly?
I think so. Let me double check here, but I'm pretty sure Lansing is not going to be ideal weather.
I think that's good for us. You kind of make the game ugly. And typically it's not been how you traditionally would look at things.
Mm-hmm.
We've played better necessarily when it's not supposed to go how it's supposed to go.
Okay, let's see here. It's not going to be ideal. So it's a morning game, so you're going to be playing in the so you're probably playing cold weather, 11 a.m. kickoff. I don't think it's going to be terribly windy, but it does look like you're going to be sitting in some 30-degree weather early in the morning. So just a cold game. Maybe not windy like crazy.
Okay, that's not terrible.
No. The hits are gonna hit a little harder.
Consistency. Again, I think we still pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's it's still a Big Ten game. They're hurt, we're hurt. It's late November, the last month of college football regular season.
Yep.
Well, we've been on more so on a roll. We've been more consistent and everything like that. So just relying on that and everything like that. Them playing in the morning, I don't think it's been an issue.
It hasn't been this year, luckily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's typically we might play a half, might play 3/4. So that typically hasn't been an issue. So that's fine. We just got to go out there and dominate and impose our will. Man, make the game how we want to make the game.
Yeah. Don't turn it over on the first play. That's 2 weeks in a row. You gotta quit that. That's gonna bite you. It's incredible that we're winning. And again, you got to give credit for them keeping their poise and the defense for playing that complementary football. But sooner or later, you keep getting out to these slow starts, you won't win a game
for sure. But it's not even slow. Even if you start on slow, even if you start slow, just being on rhythm. When I say on rhythm, you driving the field, you eating up the clock. You making third downs manageable, and you are converting your third downs. If you do that, consistently throughout the game, the time of possession, we win. We don't have, turnovers, terrible turnovers or anything like that. The defense is going to do with them. I don't even have to, harp on that. It's more so the offensive, just do your part. I'm not saying go out there and score 27 points, look, 17-21. Our defense is not, and Michigan State is not anything crazy to where I'm afraid that they're just going to, bombs over.
Well, that's what kind of gives me, some real, we've seen what this Nebraska defense has done against some of the better teams out there against, Colorado. Yeah, they're maybe not like the greatest team, but offensively they have explosive plays. Michigan, they're kind of elite, but when we're playing these Big Ten teams that kind of play that Michigan State style, they're a little similar to the Big Ten West and how they've been playing this year. The defense for those kind of teams has been spot on. So that gives me some hope. This is another game where you're kind of seeing more of the same, and that more of the same you've dominated in the past few games.
Exactly. So I think that, the kids are excited. They're confident. They're playing, complementary football. Just offense, just continue, just, like I said, just do your part.
Just win the field position, if you pin them back, defense will do its job.
Time of possession, capitalize on when you're supposed to and how you're supposed to and everything like that. Finish drives, no turnovers, smart football, third downs. Because as you said, it's Big Ten. It's in November. It's not going to be easy. They're not just going to turn over and run. So you need to sustain drives, and how you sustain that is getting manageable third downs, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, and converting those, continue to, impose your will and everything like that. Get to that, mid third quarter, late third quarter, to where, your will is just, the straw that, breaks the camel's back. So you do that, you do what you're supposed to and everything like that. Offense, you go out there, play smart, put up the points that you're supposed to, score when you're supposed to, don't turn the ball over, stay on rhythm, we'll be fine.
Yep, and it seems like it's going to be kind of more of the same game plan. I have a lot of confidence kind of going into this game, just because we're not asking them to beat the Michigans, the Ohio States yet. This is a winnable game, and it's crazy to say, but Nebraska's in the race for the Big Ten West. Last opportunity to do it. So if you're going to ever win it, this is the time, which is kind of crazy that Nebraska hasn't been able to do that yet. But nonetheless, great opportunity for Nebraska, especially at this point in the season. Still a lot on the line for the Huskers, which is different than years in the past. But nonetheless, we got to get out of here. Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Personnel. Catch the podcast at ticketfm.com. We'll talk to you guys later.